20 miles north of Cardiff is Ferndale, a former coal mining village that sits within the Rhondda Valley.
Well, in the hills above Ferndale, you find this, known as the Maiden's Pool. Well, legend has it that a Welsh enchantress lives at the bottom of the lake. Oh, how romantic. Let's hope that the property I'm here to see is just as enchanting.
And the property is located just a short drive away down the valley.
So what am I here to see? Well, a two-bedroomed mid-terrace. Guide price, 29,000 quid. Let's take a look.
That's an encouraging price, but just as this house seemed to be shaping up well...
It looks like the whole of the front of this house is actually leaning this way. That's not a good start. It is potentially one of those properties where it wouldn't necessarily go any further than the front door. But let's see what it has to offer. Well, that's actually quite a surprise. Into this room, which is, for this kind of house, pretty large. It's two rooms that have been knocked together at some stage to create this really nice-sized space. But it's kind of wobbling this way. Wobbling, well, no, slanting, you know what I mean. And fireplace? I'm reminded of one of those Western bars where you slide a drink down. It'd be very easy here because it would slide perfectly well in one direction. Right, I mean, can you imagine trying to fit furniture or trying to find a square point of reference for door frames or skirting boards or anything in this house? It's like bad.
Yes, I know, it's not always easy to see on your TV screen, but take my word for it, this place is all a little bit wonky. The general state isn't too good either. But on a positive note, there aren't any obvious signs of recent cracking, which tends to suggest that this is historical movement and therefore not something to be unduly worried about. But I'd still want that checked out by a professional.
So, kitchen here, you know, it's all right, I suppose. No, it's not. Take it out, replace it. And unfortunately, it doesn't get any better as you work towards the very back of the property kitchen here than this area here, which has been covered in by this sort of plasticky kind of roof. It feels damp, it smells damp. Out the back there, wow, you're just faced with some massive, great retaining wall.
It's just coming together as a place that has its fair share of issues, and the wonkiness might be the least of it. It's really just dreadfully damp, dilapidated and dingy, certainly on the ground floor. Outside, the tiny courtyard space and a high-walled bit of garden would only be enticing to a mountain goat, and they don't increase any feelings of fondness for this house.
So upstairs, and the property takes a turn for the better. Yes, two really nice-sized bedrooms and a huge bathroom and loo upstairs. Brilliant. And let's try and think about this house in a slightly different way. The guide price, £29,000. Average rental for this kind of house around here, £350 a month. That produces a yield, not allowing for doing it up, but just on those numbers, of around 14.5%. Suddenly, can we put up with the damp and the wonkiness? Possibly.
So does a local estate agent think this might work?
The property does need quite a lot of work. It structurally seems okay, although there is evidence of some movement over the years, but I don't think it's anything major. It's probably historic, so I don't think there's going to be any sort of recent movement in the property. Primarily, the kitchen needs upgrading. The bathroom, there's issues with damp in the bathroom, and the conservatory needs sorting out as well.
With average rental figures of £350 per calendar month, we know the house's rental potential is good. But how would this house, that was guided at £29,000, fare on the resale market?
If I was to put it on the market to sell, depending on the standard of work, I would be looking in the region of £60,000.
That's encouraging. So what is the best option for the house once fully refurbished?
At the moment, in this area, sales are pretty slow. The rental market, on the other hand, is quite buoyant, so personally I would go down the route of trying to rent the property.
Well, that's good to know. If you want a fast return, then this might not be for you. But as a long-term rental investment, well, it should do okay. Well, it's a bit damp and it's a bit wonky, so one to be a little bit careful about. Still, let's see who bought it when it went under the hammer.
Lot number 11, mid-terraced house, stone-fronted house there, 2 bedrooms, bath on the first floor. Again, great buy-to-let property. Start me at 20 then, if you like. 20, can we see? Put a hand up at 20. Thank you, sir. I've got you 20. At 20 there. At £20,000. Now one I'm looking for. I've got 20 there. One can I see? At 21. Thank you. 21. 22 now. 22. 23. 24. 25. 26. 27. 28. 28. 28. No. 27 I've got. You're now out. At 27 here then, make no mistake, it's going to be sold. At 27,000 then for the first time. Second time. Third and last time at £27,000. Well done, sir. Got yourself a bargain there.
And so, for £2,000 below the guide price at £27,000, the 2-bed terraced house in Ferndale was bought by Cardiff-based father and son team Paul and Nathan. And with Dad Paul busy at work, I met up with son Nathan to find out what their plans were for the house.
Nathan, good to meet you.
And you.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Tell me why you wanted to buy this place.
We're looking to get a portfolio of rental properties together, so on the road to be doing that, basically.
And this is number what?
3.
OK.
Yeah.
Well, the other ones you've got, are they similar?
We've got one in Cardiff, and we bought one in the same auction as this one as well.
Right.
Which is just about 10 minutes down the road from here.
When did you start?
A couple of months ago now, not too long ago at all.
So
yeah.
Why now?
We've, over the last couple of years, bought a few properties, renovated them, and sold them on for profit. But just wanted to get rentals now, you know, to get a portfolio together.
So the two are relatively new to property developing, and they also have day jobs. Nathan's a taxi driver and his dad runs his own business.
Couldn't be here today, but he's out to work on the ice cream van.
Ice cream van?
Ice cream van, yeah. He's an ice cream vendor.
Oh, great.
Yeah, he's been doing it for about 35 years now, so...
Wow, like a traditional ice cream van?
Yeah, old-fashioned ice cream van.
Oh, fantastic. And is that something you've done as well?
Yeah, I do it through the summer as well, help him out there, and I do a bit of taxi driving in the winter as well. But the idea is to get slowly into property and for this to be the sole occupation.
Well, with 3 properties scooped up in just a couple of months, Nathan and Dad Paul hope that their ice cream days might be numbered. But this house has quite a lot of work to lick it back into shape.
What are you going to do to the property to get it into
Right, it's suffering from a lot of damp at the moment. So we've addressed the problem. So
what is it?
It's a bit of the guttering, a bit of the roof. It's a number of things, to be honest with you. But we've got that booked in for this week now.
OK.
To get that done. We're just going to pull all the walls back then. The central heating system is not working at all and it's unsafe. So it would be a new combi boiler with new radiators. Spruce up the kitchen, new worktops, doors, etc. And flooring, carpets, laminate. Just make it nice, basically.
And is it stuff that you can do yourself?
I'll be doing parts, but we'll be getting people in as well and turning it around quite quickly, hopefully. Okay. So.
What kind of time?
We're looking at about 4 to 6 weeks, depending on if anything else crops up, any other problems, but should get it done in 4, really.
And what budget?
Looking at only about 4,000 to 5,000 on here, so yeah.
And then the plan is to get how many in the portfolio?
As many as possible, basically. We keep going, hopefully. So might see us again.
Yeah, for sure. Well, listen, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Good luck with it.
Thank you.
Look forward to seeing how you
Thank
get
you
on.
very much. Thank you.
Well, Nathan doesn't seem too fazed by the challenges ahead here. In fact, he seems ice cool. Almost the cat that got the cream. Yep, he's not too flaky about his plans, and he probably gives this place 99 out of 100. Ooh, enough ice cream puns. How will he get on with the challenges ahead? Because I think there are many. You can find out later in the show.
It's a kind of magic. It's a kind of magic.
We return to Ferndale, just north of Cardiff. The lake in Ferndale is supposed to be enchanted, but would the two-bedroom terrace with the guide price of just £29,000 I was here to see be magic? Well...
It's kind of slanting this way, and fireplace... I'm reminded of one of those Western bars where you slide a drink down. It'd be very easy here because it would slide perfectly well.
Yep, it leaned. It also had damp, but that didn't put off Nathan and his father, who paid £27,000 for the property, £2,000 under the guide price.
Tell me why you wanted to buy this place.
We're looking to get a portfolio of rental properties together. Me and my father.
OK.
Yeah, couldn't be here today, but he's out to work on the ice cream van.
Ice cream van?
Ice cream van, yeah. He's an ice cream vendor. But the idea is to get slowly into property and for this to be the sole occupation.
Nathan certainly seemed cool with all the work that needed to be done. 1 month later, we return to see if everything's going well and if he's going to make a lot of lolly. Right, have we hit our quota of ice cream puns now? Good, cue the music.
I got the eye of the tiger, dancing through the fire. 'Cause I am a champion, and you're gonna hear me roar louder, louder than a lion. 'Cause I am a champion, and you're gonna hear me roar.
It's all looking fresh and welcoming. So, how much work had to be done here?
We've done a lot of plastering, new central heating system, radiators, carpets, flooring, everything really. The damp was problems with the guttering and the rendering was blown a bit, so we hacked that off, tanked the walls and re-rendered. It wasn't much of a problem, didn't add any extra cost on, just took a couple of days.
Nathan is pretty relaxed, just as he was about that wonkiness.
We've knocked the neighbours, they're all like it as well, so had a look down the street, it just seems to be movement over time.
Let's just call it a quirky special feature then.
What a kooky little paradise. What a kooky little paradise. Never was an island half as nice as my kooky little paradise.
The bathroom has been repainted and regrouted. They decided to keep the original tiles. So what did they do to brighten up the kitchen?
In the kitchen, we've changed the worktops, wrapped the doors in a vinyl wrap, makes it look nice and white and new. We've kept the original oven, hob and extractor fan with the sink and the tap, or didn't need replacing. It looks much fresher and brighter. Hopefully the new tenants will be pleased with it.
I think this is a very clever choice. OK, so disguising old units with vinyl wrap is no substitute for a brand new designer kitchen, but this is a good example of knowing your market. Nathan is intent on renting the property, and those cosmetic changes do make a bit of difference without eating into the budget too much. Speaking of budget, Nathan was looking to spend between £4,000 and £5,000. How did he get on?
We've come in under 4,000, just though, I think about 3,800 all in told, so that's a bit under budget, it's great. The timescale's gone great. We've spent 24 days on the property in total. So there have been a few weekends, a few late nights, But all in all, on target.
Under budget and finishing within his 4 to 6 week timescale, Nathan appears to have done well, having paid just £27,000 for the property at auction and spent £3,800 on the development. Things are looking positive. But let's see what two local property experts think of his work before we crack open the champagne.
They've made some very good changes. They've obviously improved the kitchen and improved the bathroom, put new flooring in the living room and new carpets upstairs. On the whole, they've done a good job. The standards of the finish isn't the best I've seen. The painting it could do with improving, but the general standard is okay.
I think the good things about this property are the parking, the new boiler. It does smell new because of the paintwork and everything, new floorings in some areas, but it is definitely down at the rental standard. It's definitely not a sale standard. If you weren't going to replace the kitchen, I would have redone the completely doors instead of putting the veneer over them or the lacquer.
While Nathan is aware that there are some finishing touches to be made to this house, he was keen to stay on budget. So will the cheaper finish affect the values? So far, the father and son team have spent £30,800. So what could it sell for?
I would put this property on the market for £59,950 with a view to achieving between £50,000 and £55,000.
I think if this property was put on the market at the moment, it would achieve £60,000 to £65,000.
If Nathan and his dad were to achieve that top valuation of £65,000, it would give a pre-tax profit of £34,200. But Nathan was looking to add this to a portfolio of properties, so what rental value could he expect?
I would look to rent this property out for £375 per calendar month.
I think this property could rent for between £350 and £375 per calendar month. If it was done to a slightly better standard, definitely £400 per calendar month.
Yep, that's brilliant. That's exactly what I was expecting. Be great to definitely rent the property out.
£375 per calendar month would give Nathan a whopping yield of around 14%. No wonder he's pleased. A good lesson for all developers. Sometimes pouring money and time into the perfect finish is not the solution. He had a plan, he bought cheap, got it turned round quickly and didn't spend too much. So what now? More property or more ice cream?
Property compares very differently to the ice cream, but definitely enjoy property more and we'll continue on that.
So that's what happened to our buyers featured on the programme today. But there are as many stories as there are properties.
Yeah, so join us next time for more tales from the auction rooms here on Homes Under the Hammer.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.